Good morning. What are we going to talk about here? New all-time highs? Market inching up. There we go. Screen. Give me a second. There we go. Good morning. You're in social media land. Yeah, so markets are inching up a little bit. Why? Not the stock market. The government's closed. They're still fighting. They're dug in. Nothing's going to happen. So apply what we do every day, and we have a move up from the bottom of the trading range to the top of the trading range. Our things here. And still getting used to using this platform, but you can see what I'm talking about there. Just breaking out of the top of the trading range. So we don't buy patterns like this. It gives us a bias to buy, right? Meaning give us an entry point on a lower time frame. You could trade this time frame when you want to put a stop down below the bottom of the trading range. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Futures there are stopped at the whole number, 6,800. Somewhat relevant, but not like it would be SPX, which we'll take a look at. But what we do is, right, we say, okay, we got a bias, strength, breaking out of the top of the trading range. Go down to your 5-minute chart. This is why we don't buy it, because on the smaller time frame, where you're going to put your stop? Way down here? That doesn't make sense. The thing is to look for patterns like this and like this. We get a pullback, right? But we need to see what that pullback might look like. So for me anyway, that puts me on the sidelines waiting for some kind of retracement or consolidation, because I'm not buying anything that's already moved up, on an intraday chart, that many bars in a row going vertical and a little extended. But if it pulls back, the daily's not extended, it's going sideways. It's just inching up above resistance, and the 65-minute is coming out of that consolidation on the daily. So we need to wait for a little pullback, rest, or whatever it's going to do. All right, let's see what the Qs are doing, the NASDAQ futures. And so we've had 3 days of going sideways, and we got a red bar ignored, and that's taken out the top of the range. And same story. Smaller time frame, short-term extended, wide range bar on the 5-minute chart, suggesting momentum will slow. Slowing momentum does not mean it's going to drop sharply. It just means momentum's going to slow. How does that happen? Well, bars going sideways, narrow range bars. We'll see if it pulls back a little bit. And silver, we'll take a look at silver, sure. We always do. But the good thing is, right, is to have a long bias is that there were 3 days of going nowhere. Here was the correction bar, and then there was this 3 days and up. So that supports that this could go higher, and it better not go down below the wide range bar as it relates to this instrument. We'll see how it matches up with the ETFs. And let's look at the other horsemen, as we call them. So the Dow futures are playing a little catch up. They've been lagging. Overall, the pattern's constructive, but a pattern like this If this was at the end of the day and we saw this pattern, we're looking okay. If it can take out that high expectation, it goes higher. I mean, the trend is up, just chopping around, but it's certainly lagging. And some of the Dow stocks were getting smashed yesterday, and but it came back off of the lows. So this may be a go-to one. Um, and we'll see. Not really excited about any of these futures contracts, but that doesn't mean things won't set up. We watch them throughout the trading day, looking for opportunities in the green room. We typically find one or two. All right, so the Russell, it's been lagging, and the Dow lags, and they typically kind of lag and perform or outperform together, one more than the other at times. But um, when they do are in favor, you got to be watching all four of them, and this looks like it could have some room to get up there and play a little catch up. But especially this one when it's in favor, it's a good one, because it moves. So nothing great going on here as far as these futures contracts going, right? The equity futures. Um, Silver, you want to look at silver, it's backing off a little bit. It's in an uptrend. It's short-term extended. Again, you see this little consolidation there, and then the red bar ignored. That gives you a clear line in the sand in short to intermediate term, not to violate that low there. And so it continues to be buying on the dip. And I like the way that this is consolidating right here. This little bluish gray area, that's not really relative to, I guess it is, what's happening pre-market. Have this set more or less for looking at the spiders and Qs, from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the overnight trading, until the market opens. And that's why I have this colored like that. But overall, this is consolidating. And so it can hold up here. The trend is up, so we'd assume it will. Above there, it should go higher. And gold, up above 4,000. Strong uptrend. Is it extended? Yes. It can get more extended. And when prices get extended, they can work that off by going sideways. And this leads to the indicator-based mythology and different things that you could put on your charts. So overbought is a meaningless word. Extended is a good word, and depending on how you measure that. But look, you just look at the prices and you see a whole bunch of bars going up. You can say, well, it's extended. With this here, it was going sideways. Just common sense. So now it's getting extended again, but it can become more extended. It's at a whole number. We'll see how it deals with that. Maybe it backs off or not. But the further it gets from any support, right, it is that same little consolidation, the greater the probability that it pulls back to test that support or goes sideways. Now, some will say, oh, let me put a 10 MA or let me put an 8 MA because it's a Fibonacci number, and let's put an 8 exponential period moving average. And that's all the hype that goes on in this industry to say, oh, if you use this moving average with this proprietary indicator, so on and so forth, and you get dragged into that hype. By the way, if you want to avoid the hype and learn something of usefulness, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I am presenting here, and you will learn something because I don't care if you're trading gold, Bitcoin, Apple Computer, it's applicable. And you already have the tools on your charts right now. So, all right. So gold looks a little extended, but great. Obviously, it's in favor. Government shutdown, government debt, all of that stuff, and Bitcoin moving up at the top of its range there. I think that was a new closing high yesterday as I eyeball that, but bottom of the range, top of the range, made a big move off of that low. So a little bit too much too fast. Maybe a little resting period there would make sense. Crude oil looks like it's ready to do a nosedive. So when prices break down under pivot lows, obviously, it's bearish. It violated support, and it's been holding there for quite a long time. Now, sometimes, especially when they come down, you see how it broke out here and it comes back. Well, sometimes when they break down, they go right back up again. So far, it's not doing that. It's going sideways, and that supports it can go lower. But we have to wait to see it does actually break here. But as this goes sideways, it's showing an inability for demand buyers to push it back up. And those that bought here are in unintelligent hope mode because their stop should have been tighter. But anyway, so looks like it's going to break lower again. Let's set an alert down below here. And of course, set an alert up there. Maybe it turns around. I don't know. Right? I'll just wait. Right? Just wait and see what it's going to do. Interest rates have been inching up. And you see what's happening here right now. Right? And they turned around yesterday. And I mentioned this in the green room on Friday because some of these home building stocks were inching higher, and it was like maybe they can move up. And I said, be careful. Like they're so closely tied to interest rates and their reaction. And look at what they did yesterday. You could look at the stocks within it, but look at that turn down. So, this was looking like, oh, it could continue to move up. And that's the risk of trading against a trend. Meaning, this broke down all through these pivots. It turns the trend down. But sometimes things continue to inch up until it reaches resistance. But so it makes sense to keep an eye on what interest rates are doing if you're going to trade stocks that are influenced by the direction of interest rates, even on a day-to-day basis at times. And let's look at semiconductors, AMD. And I think they're a little tired, but they're up here this morning, right? So is that extended? Yeah. I mean, it consolidated for a while, but it's pushing higher. So I'll be keeping an eye on this to see if it gives it up. If it turns around, no evidence of that as of yet. Doesn't help me. So that'll be something to keep an eye on today, since it's been doing so well. SMH is the same thing. So there's something in that other semiconductor ETF that's doing well, because SMH is not moving up like that one is. I don't know what it is, but I'll take a look later. All right. Just want to see Q's gap. Just inched up above the highs, not a big deal. So momentum has been slowing as prices have moved up from here to here. So that is not a big deal. We'll see which way they flip when the market opens. That's not doing much of anything. Red bar yesterday. Does it break the low or not? So you can see the cursor there. Put an alert below yesterday's low, yesterday's high. So ideally, with a daily chart that's short-term extended, it would seem to have greater odds of having a 1 day or 2 day pullback. There's an unfilled gap. So if this does roll over, it could have some shorting opportunities with the leveraged ETFs or the futures. AMD's up again. What? That was yesterday. Yeah, all right, it's not up that much. It's up off of yesterday's low, but I don't know what to do with that myself. All right. Oh, so rotation. I'm going to get to SPX, but possibly where is the chart? What was doing well? That should pop up there for you. Um, Meta down at the prior low. You don't need indicators. You just need to look to the left. It's right there. Mm. And buyers should be there. And they stepped in yesterday. So how much can it pop up there? We'll see. But clearly, this is where buyers are. Google, I think that's today's. Yeah. Taking a little rest there, that resistance. Apple's not doing anything. Amazon got a big bottoming tail bar. So these fangs pretty much have been underperforming. I think maybe if they could play a little catch up, that could be what propels those cues higher. You got a little buy set up there on Nvidia. Hasn't traded above a prior bar's high yet. Maybe, it's just inside day. These are the mags, Magnificent Seven. Facebook looks great. It's come up to that pivot over there. Maybe it forms a 1, 2, 3. Netflix trying to bounce a little bit. So, and Tesla, there was some news on Tesla that's not doing much of anything. And you can see there, pre-market, not much going on there. All right. So, spiders, we look at where they're at. Basically, they're backing off a little bit now. Near the top of the range, and S&P 500. There are today's numbers as they were before I started talking. And 75.05. So this came up a little bit as that rally. I would still look to get under 6,700 if that's possible. And the upper number 75. So they both came up a little bit, but that's what they were before I started talking. Internals and option traders are getting a little excited here. So a 1 moving up to a little warning. Breath is still under 0. Doesn't help us yet. To you, Dan.
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, going back to your gold, I sent you a little news summary that I think it was Goldman giving a new prediction of gold. What was it, 4,900? So it's almost at 4,000. So another 20% plus by the end of next year, though, not this year. And Bitcoin, I've heard so many people on the TV just saying, "Oh, it's going to be 200,000, by the end of the year." It's like, what? What are they smoking to come up with that statement? I mean, what makes you think this is going to rally $75,000 in 7, 8 weeks? But they always talk about people at extremes, and then when it doesn't happen, you never hear from them again. All right, well, I'll bet you $1,000 it doesn't happen, Alex. You want to start the morning off with a bet? And I'll bet you $100,000 actually. I'll take that bet all day long. Yeah, and let's see, what company was investing in this Polycom? Oh, ICE. ICE. I lost my pre-market. Yeah, look at it, up at 165. So they said they're investing 2 billion in the poly markets. That's who they actually had on CNBC this morning, the CEO. And I'm assuming that the company's not public yet. So I don't know the Polycom company, but that's what's been hurting MGM and flood flood and um, uh, Duncan. Duncan, yeah, these have been all under pressure because of this competition from those poly markets types things, including Hood. All right, let's see. Our Ertali. That's going to be Zypher. Too far from the 20. Don't like yesterday's tail. It's not a good entry. Alarms. SMCI. My up alarm went off. We're in trail mode. We took our money on the put spread yesterday, but we're still in the directional. The trail mode looks great. We nailed the entry right here over this green bar. You know, I just love getting good entries. You know, so look at that. 5 over the green bar, stop under the green bar. And so this Zypher is just, it's not a good entry to me. You know, your stop was today Tuesday, your stop really has to be under Friday's low. On the URG, we're in this little guy. My up alarm went off. But we're just trailing that thing. Meta alarm, I posted a put spread on this, so it's gapping over it. So I don't even tell them it's a go. If they get filled. It's ASTS I posted as a gap and crap setup for a call spread. I mean, that was a power move on that igniting gap, just slicing through resistance. But you know, there's 99.9% chance there's some news out on this morning because of a $5 gap down. So, you know, it's powerful. So at a minimum, I'd be waiting 30 minutes, and then we'll go through our checklist. BRCB, recent IPO. Lima, my up alarm went off. Circle. And I had an up alarm go off, but that's early alarm. We're in this, and looks good to add. It had a little over yesterday's high and more over Friday. So, oh, VNT. Yeah, these we shorted this yesterday. So I was out yesterday afternoon, but yeah, I would have covered a third. So let's maybe give it a 5 minute. I'll just set alarms. I just want to know. Here, I'll put it right here. And we'll manage that. It'll be open or part of it. Forward, gapping down here. We're in trail mode. We have long calls. We sold half on Friday into the strength. So 5 minute low will still be a profit. Jemmy, we bought a half lot yesterday. Charter, we have a half lot. You can do the other half. I actually like his cousin here a tad better. You know, I call it the A/B test. I kind of just like these last 2 bars better. So if you're not in charter, this is another idea for you. I'm not, so I think I'll do this one. Roku, we're in long and a put spread. Let's say so, or towing. See this, although we're in it, this one to me is a better new trade because you got your igniting bar, you got a 1, 2, 3, 4. You had a crazy drop in the morning. That's unusual. But your entry would be yesterday's high, stop yesterday's low. It's very clear. That tail went 50% into that bar. If that takes out today's high, there's no way you would want to be in this if it then traded back under that tail. Yeah, these were alarms from yesterday when I wasn't here, but we did a call spread on cream, and that sure stuffed us out. I don't know what happened there. LMW, we're in, looks great. Let me set new alarms. So even though the market's flying, we got a few shorts that are all doing well. And we actually also did a call spread on SanDisk yesterday. Look at the size of that bar compared to all these others. So, you know, you can have igniting, um, at igniting breakouts, and then also on reversals like that, where everyone's headed for the exit doors. Rightfully so. I mean, that would make sense to me, being up so much. Your entry has to be yesterday's high. I see a gap. The gap's too big. Gap's too big, Sean. Look, something. Oh, wait. Oh, my bad. I was thinking that was 29. No, no. Okay, so gap's not too big. So it's worth watching on a pullback. You know, bullish gap, watch it on a pullback. All right, those look like all my alarms. I don't have any. Well, here there was one or two earnings, but I didn't see anything of interest. MKC, STV. That's a bullish gap. Quick spread idea. JHX. I don't know if this was. No, it was not earnings, but it had some type of news. It's a bullish gap of, I don't know, like ADRs as a general rule. Uh, Greg was talking about home building, and they one company downgraded all four of these. Yeah, that's a nasty reversal in MTH. Some of these would be call spreads. If there's any juice, Ether here had some type of news. No good pattern. Amcur, excessive gap. There's our MGM. Airbnb is another short I like. So, or Tawi, see what I'm talking about? New trades, and they're obvious. This one is you short last week's low, stop yesterday's high. That one's clear. Airbnb. Bro alarm. I wish it had a better void, but it's a 1, 2, 3. And I already checked this. There's no premium on the spreads are ludicrous. All right, LNW. All right, new low on LNW. Nice. Oh, there's our VNT. Yeah, let's just cover half 5-minute high. Yeah, we should have been out of some of the close. Ain't done. And a Roku up alarm. Roku. Oh, that's what I was talking about the obvious, you know, yeah, I actually didn't really pay much attention to where it was opening. But there you go. We got a nice continuation. So now, well, I won't do it yet, but at 10 a.m., if it is still, if it's rallied more, look at diamonds taking off here on the 5 minute. And then I'll move stop to the 30-minute low, because this is a nice move now. Wonder what the news was yesterday, because that's a crazy morning call. Oh, thanks, Brent. Yeah, let me see. I forget the amount of credit. Um, okay, all right, cool. So I'll do that. Thanks for that update. Netflix is strong. Whenever I type the price of Meta, I could shake my head, because I was around when they went public, like around $100. WBX alarm. Remember this little guy I was talking about on this day? I was watching it for 1, 2, 3. It's light volume, but shoot, it kept going. SMCI up alarm again. Nice. Let's tighten the stop again now. 54.28. Hang on, today's Roku up alarm. I got you in the weakest today. Yeah. And we're in MSOS in the ETF letter. Yeah, looking good. Had a little afternoon pop there. Roku. Oh, that was a down alarm actually. Yeah, we have the 99.94. And this is just to protect the gains. We have a bigger stop in the directional. It's his hand.